Hello everyone. In this video, we will build authentication functionality in Gatsby project. We will use Firebase for authentication. Here I have already created a boilerplate Gatsby project. Let's start our app. Gatsby develop. So this is the boilerplate project and I have added two links, register page, login page, and then a link to logout. So in source pages, here are our two pages. So it's just a form with two fields, email and password field, and then a submit button, and same with login. And I have already installed a few packages, Firebase.env for our environment variables and Gatsby plugin-firebase. So you can install them by typing Firebase, Gatsby plugin Firebase and .env. I have already done that. So now let's go to Gatsby config file, and here we will configure Gatsby plugin Firebase. So within plugins, we will add our plugin name, resolve Gatsby plugin Firebase, and after that we have to provide options, and for that go to firebase.google.com, and then go to console and add a new project. So I have already added a project, so I am going to use this one. And once you created the project, go to web app, settings, and here we will need these configurations. So just copy it, and in our project let's create a file .env. And now inside options we will add a key credentials, and let's just copy it from here. And we will grab these values from our .env file, and for that we will require .env require.env.config. So this one will be process.env.api key, because this is the name we have provided in our .env file. This one will be auth domain. Alright, so our configuration is done. Now to use Gatsby plugin Firebase, go to Gatsby browser.js file, and here we will import Firebase auth. Import firebase/auth. Now inside source, let's create a folder context. We will use React context, and then inside context we will create file auth.js. So let's import React and create context from React. Export const auth context, and we will invoke this create context, and as initial value we will pass an empty object. Now we will add provider, so const auth provider equals to and it will return auth context dot provider, and let's get children, and we will pass children here, and finally we will export this auth provider. And to use this auth provider we will go to Gatsby browser, and here let's import React from React, and then auth provider dot slash source slash context auth, and here we will export a root element which will wrap up our entire app. So export const wrap root element, and we will pass element, auth provider, and this element is the children coming from here. Okay, so now in our context file we will need to add state user set user equals to use state, and let's import use effect also. So inside our use effect we will watch for auth state change, if the user is logged in or not. So for that let's import Firebase from Gatsby plugin-firebase, and here we will say firebase dot auth dot on auth state change. So it will return user if there is user, and then we will set user to user, and here we will pass values user and set user. Now we will have access to these values within our app. So now let's go to register route. Here we will create a state, so we will need use state, and we will also use context. So in our state there will be 3 fields: email, password, and error if there is any. So initial value will be empty string for email, password, and error will be null. Now let's add this value here. Email will be data.email, and we will add on change to capture any change when user types, and we will make this function handle change. And for a password, the value will be data.password. So here we will set data. We will spread current data, and then we will grab the values by name. So e.target.name, the value will be e.target.value. So it's a form, so let's add an on submit, and we will call it handle submit. We will import Firebase here as well. And then we will say, so it will be an async await function. Firebase dot auth dot create user with email and password, and we will provide email and password. So in case of successful registration, it will give us user back in this variable. So let's say, actually we need to import set user from our context. We will destructure it. So here we will say set user, and we will pass our result. This will be an entire user object. And in case of error, we will say set data. We will spread any field, any data, and then for error field, error dot message, and this message will be coming from Firebase. And if there is an error, we will display it above the register button. Okay, so in case of successful registration, we will navigate to login route, and for that we will import navigate from Gatsby. /login. We have changed config file, so we need to restart our server. Okay, so here I get a Gatsby plugin Firebase. Actually, it's a typo. It's Firebase. Let's go to register page. So our validation is working. This is a message from Firebase. Let's provide an email. Password should be at least 6 characters. And let's register. Check if our Firebase. Go to authentication, and to use this method, I forgot to tell you that you will have to go to authentication and then sign in method. Then you will need to enable this email and password method to use it, and you can enable it from here. So here is our user. Let's delete these and try again. Let's refresh it. So our user is successfully registered. And here, before we make a request, we will set error to null. When we have provided result to user, then we are already logged in, so we don't need to navigate to login page. We can just navigate to slash our home page. Now let's go to login, use state and use context. So it will almost be same. So we have created state, email, password and error, and we have imported set user, and we have destructured set user from our context file, added a handle change method, data.email, and let's add error here too. Let's just copy this handle submit. We will need to change a method, and we also need Firebase here. So this time the method will be firebase.auth dot sign in with email and password, and the rest will be same. We have to import auth context from our context file. Okay, so we are using navigate, but we have not imported it. Now let's give it a try. Okay, so now it's working. Okay, so we are redirected to our home page. Now let's go to our header, and here we will render conditionally these three links. So here first of all we will bring use context and our auth context from context file. And we will destructure user out of it. So we will show logout only if user is logged in. So in here let's say if not user, then we will show register and login link. Otherwise logout. So as we are logged in, so we are showing getting logged out. So here let's add logout method. And we will import Firebase. Firebase.auth.signout, and after that we will navigate to login. So let's get navigate /login, and we will call this function here. So now we are logged out and we are redirected to login page. Login, logout. So that's how we can add authentication within our Gatsby project using Firebase authentication. I hope you liked the video. Thank you.